think we're live. What's up, y'all? If you're in the chat, let me know where you're at, what country, city, state you're looking at us from. It's good to see everybody. My name's Aaron. I am Suspect. I have been dropping music recently for the last, 10 weeks. I've been making music for about 10 years. I wanted to talk just a little bit about music today, kind of let you guys know a little bit about me and hear a little bit about you guys too, like where are you from, what kind of music do you like, who's your favorite artist right now. So I'll be watching the chat, guys. If you want to drop a chat, it's good to see ya. Yeah, just to get things kicked off, I'll tell you guys a little bit about me. Again, my name is Suspect. I also go by Suspect EDM or Suspected M. A lot of ambiguity in the title, and that's on purpose, guys. Part of the brand that I've been building is supposed to be like a layer of anonymity, but it's not really supposed to be that deep. I'm a little bit more introverted naturally. I try to make music that is not necessarily in the mainstream. I don't mind making music that would be mainstream. I might explore that in the future, but a lot of the music that I make, I just make for myself. And that's part of why I never really released music up to this point. But what I realized is not releasing music had become a habit for me, and I never really finished the music I was making. So, I met somebody recently at a work conference, and they basically just said, "Hey, if you can like get yourself to be releasing at least one song a week, eventually you'll get it to a point where you could do something with it, right?" And that's always been something I wanted with my music. I could care less if I make millions of dollars off music. I actually came to the realization that it's like not something I should make my main focus on making money. But I personally enjoy the process of making music. I've always loved learning about music, like what makes it work, what makes it sound good, why do we enjoy certain sounds. And that's always been really interesting to me. So personally, that's kind of like why recently I've been, dropping music. And if you guys haven't seen it at all, it's not that hard to find. If you guys just go to SoundCloud, you type in the word suspect and the word okay. It should be like the first thing that pops up. I'm on all streaming platforms, guys. I'm on Spotify, Apple Music. You can find me on Pandora. If you guys want the links for it, I'm going to try to build my YouTube page up to be the main hub where I'm like interacting with people and answering questions. And for those of you who are, here early, you'll probably get some extra goodies like unreleased music, like downloads for free. Like I said, I'm not really necessarily trying to make a ton of money off the music that I make. So if you guys actually really do enjoy the music and you don't want to like have to go to Spotify to listen to it, let me know. If anybody has any questions they want to ask outside of a live stream, my email is just suspectedculprit@gmail.com. Very like responsive to when I get messages, guys. And if you're like an up and coming music producer and you want to learn a little bit, I'm always down to like jump on Ableton and do a call and kind of just talk about how I'm making the music that I'm making and stuff like that. Just to tell you a little bit about how I got into making music, guys. I think like anybody that gets into making music, you kind of find a love for sound at a certain point in your life. It's funny, I can go to like concerts where people are all dancing. It's not like I don't dance, guys. I love to dance. But I'll be like intently like an ear leaned in towards to the stage. I'm like, how are they doing that? Like that sounds so cool. I've always been interested in, like how sound works, right? Um, my friend actually went to school for audio engineering. Shout out to Devin. I don't know if he's watching right now, but Devin, you're the man. He studied audio engineering up in Wisconsin, and I was like at a point where I would always be writing rap music, like beats and lyrics and all that kind of stuff. One of my biggest, favorite artists, Mac Miller. Shout out to Mac Miller, R.I.P. Grew up listening to a lot of his music. Clams Casino is one of my favorite artists. Gotta love his music. It's just so good. And I would just like listen to Clams Casino beats and like write, pages of raps with my friends. And eventually Devin was like, he got to a point where he was in school and he's like, I kind of need to work with somebody to get better, at making music. So if you want, you can like come over. I'll record all your raps for free, and if it ends up making any money, we could just split it. And that was a pretty sweet deal for me. I had no idea how music worked. I was interested in it, and you know, and I thought that was very generous of Devin. Still to this day, I really appreciate him for doing that because what it really turned into was we would hang out, maybe get a little high, make music, and just hang out and like vibe and explore how a keyboard works. And I started learning about Ableton. Again, I was like pretty novice and unfamiliar with everything at this point, and Devin kind of just showed me how everything worked. He went to school for it, so he had a really good understanding of like compressors and like how MIDI works and all that kind of stuff. Like the stuff that when you get into making music today can seem a little daunting. And unfortunately, guys, there's no shortage of like YouTube gurus on like music production and all that kind of stuff. And if you watch two videos on the same topic, they'll confidently feed you conflicting views on like the same exact thing, and it's kind of hard to navigate like, well, which one's true. And like most people, eventually I had to kind of find out that in music there is no rules, right? It's good to know like music theory, because I think the rules are made to be broken. If you're not knowing what you're doing, if you're not like intentionally breaking a rule, um, you won't make like interesting music, right? Um, but yeah, so Devin and I for years would just record raps. I learned about recording vocals. I learned about how audio effects worked. I learned the process of building a song from scratch, like drum selection and making sure the bass sounds nice and like picking some good instruments and then like progressing through the song. I had a very organic experience learning those things, and I kind of fell in love with it. And I don't know if anybody else who's here right now falls in that same category, but I love music. I think it's weird. I've never really met anybody, and I don't know if you guys have, put it in the chat if you have. Have you guys ever met anybody that said they don't like music? Like for their whole lives? It's weird. I've never met somebody who's like, oh, I don't enjoy any kind of music. Music is such like a universal thing. It really engages one of our primary senses, which is our hearing, right? So whether you like electronic music like dubstep, or if you're more into like classical music, or if anything in between, like I think there's something to be appreciated in all genres of music, right? And what's so interesting about this, this thing music is we as humans all share it across space and time, right? Like, I don't know how far back music goes. I'd be interested to learn. But today I think it's ubiquitous. It's everywhere. It's a part of everything. And like just diving a little bit deeper into the music that I want to make today, it's I really just try to make music that again is interesting. I'm still learning. I feel like everybody should be a lifelong learner. So part of me putting music out weekly is getting the feedback from everybody and hearing like both the positives and the negatives. I've gotten both on my music up to this point. I've had people say the music I make is their favorite thing, or it had been, or they're listening to it on repeat. And I've also had people take a song that I make that I was very proud of and be like, well, I didn't like this thing and it kind of ruined the whole song for me. Which I think if you're not looking for that feedback intentionally, it could be hurtful to hear. And for a long time, I really wasn't looking for that feedback. It's part of why I didn't put music out. I didn't want people to listen to my stuff and pick it apart. But what I ended up with 5 years into making music was about 10 songs released total, and hundreds and hundreds of music projects that were about a quarter of the way done if they were like quality. Some of them were like close to done, and the majority of them were just like ideas that never really got fully flushed out. And I recognized pretty quickly, hey, it's not really a productive process. So when I got the advice from that guy I met at the work conference, I was like, that is actually really smart. Why don't I just put my music out? Why don't I just make a SoundCloud and put a song out? At the time, I was already paying for distribution services for music I had released years prior, right? So I'm already using like DistroKid and all those things. Um, so, I figured let's run it. Let's post a song a week. I've been pretty good about that up to this point. Still have to post a song this week. I was thinking about saying, whatever, let's post a whole EP. I have 5 songs I could finish that I think I could get done by the end of the week. That would be pretty cool. And typically, just so you guys know how the release scheduling works, because I think like if you're trying to like support the music, I want to make it as easy as I can for you. SoundCloud is, when I release a song, I put it straight out on SoundCloud when I release it. I don't really like schedule my releases on SoundCloud. What I will do is when I'm ready to like the song's done, put it out there, I'll go both on my distribution services through DistroKid and schedule the release a little bit further out so it can get placed for, playlists and things like that. And on SoundCloud, I'll just post it when I do that. And I don't have downloads enabled currently on SoundCloud. Nobody's really asked me, like, on SoundCloud, like, hey, can I download your music? But if that's something that you guys are interested in, I'm definitely not opposed to that. Again, my goal is not to make money necessarily off of the music that I put out. I just want to. Here's my goal with music, just so you guys know. I want to be able to release music for years and years and years that I enjoy making, that makes people feel good, that might make you dance, might make you feel emotional. And I want to connect with the people that like the music, right? If you guys are in the EDM scene at all, it's like a really beautiful place where people can just genuinely not worry about being themselves. They can like connect with others. I don't know, if you've never been to an EDM show, I would definitely recommend it. It's a very eye-opening experience. And, for me in my life, going to these EDM shows is one of the only places where I truly feel I can let go of society's expectations of me, of like my own like inner demons fighting with me. I feel aligned with myself, and it's part of why I make music now, is because if I can like help one other person feel that, I think that's an awesome thing. I think it's almost like giving them a chance at freedom of their soul. Like it'll let you live your life. I'm not saying automatically, right? But it's a good sense of community. It's a lot of fun. There's great music. There's good food at festivals. It's really loud, which I like. So yeah, for those of you of watching that have never been to a music festival and you're looking for some advice, I would say send it. It's a lot of fun. Bring some friends. If you don't have friends, that's fine. You will make friends there 9 times out of 10. So yeah, just talking about the music that I have coming up, guys. Like I said, I might more than likely be releasing an EP here soon. I wanted to do this live stream. I'm going to post it to the page just so anybody who wants to get to know me a little bit better, I guess technically this is like a face reveal for the page. A lot of the stuff I'm putting out on the page is, doesn't include my face. Not that I'm like opposed to doing that. I just really haven't up to this point. But yeah, in the meantime, it's New Year's Eve, guys. I hope you have a great 2026. Consider subscribing to the page if you want to hear more music. If you enjoyed the talk today, if you want to let me know about who your favorite artist is. Again, I'm going to go back on my page and make it as easy as I can for everybody to connect with me as possible. Stay blessed, have a great day, and yeah.